Hello, and welcome to the After Now podcast, originally recorded by one Andromeda Barkin and faithfully retold and uploaded by yours truly, KR Quill. Please enjoy the episode. Episode 2, Getting Risky. Well, hey you guys, I'm back. It's day 2 of me talking into this little black box in hopes that one day somebody will hear me. I'm still in the office building. It's morning. I'm able to look out the windows and see the sun come up, but I know I'm going to need to move soon. I never can stay anywhere for any longer than a few days before I eventually have to move because a walker comes in the area. I've been putting some thought as I've been going around the city, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to find somewhere to set up a base. Like a big somewhere. I know there are people wandering around this city, and I have to help them. And I figure the best way I can do that is doing the thing that I don't really want to do. See, when video games were a thing, I never really played the zombie video games. Just because I didn't like the idea of a bunch of enemies charging at me at the same time. Which is an entire possibility. Here. I guess my first item of action is I've been meaning to find a bow. They're a lot quieter than a gun, and I used to be able to shoot one with a little bit of accuracy at least. I don't know if I still have the skills or not, but I can at least try. There's no harm in trying. Find a nice hunting bow. Thinking one of the local everything stores, those big chain stores that sell a lot of different things. I figure I can find one there. I figure a lot of people probably would have gone for the guns, so there might be some bows left. So I'm recording this as I'm packing things up into my backpack. I travel light, of course, because, I gotta be careful, and there's only one of me, and it's a lot easier to sprint at full speed when your backpack is light enough to do so. So, I'm going to go to the nearest store, which I think is like 3 blocks from here, maybe. I'm gonna be careful. And I'm gonna see if I can't find a bow and some arrows. I'll continue this recording whenever I get that done. And I am back. I was hiding in the rafters of this store for so long. Oh my goodness gracious, there were so many walkers in there. But I found it. I found a bow. I found arrows. They're like sharp arrows. They're things that can actually hurt something or someone. And, I'm going to kind of need it for what I plan to do, which isn't going to be fun by any means. It's definitely not going to be fun. I'm not looking forward to this at all. But, it's something that I kind of feel like I have to do. I don't know. There's nothing really else to do out here. And I don't want to just survive. If this is how our world is now, if these walkers are going to be walking across our cities, we need places to be. We need places to be safe. We need community. We don't do well on our own. There's no point in not telling you what I'm planning on doing. There's a mall. It's a couple of miles away. I passed it whenever I first came into town. It's in a nice kind of clearer area. But I passed it whenever I came into town. I remember seeing it. I remember thinking how big of a building it was. It was a huge building. And I figure that I can go in there, clear out the walkers, and start putting up protections and things of that nature, and start making it kind of like a base for people to be safe at. Now, it is quite possibly the dumbest idea ever, because it requires me to kill probably a bunch of walkers that are in the mall, not the museum, in the mall. And that idea terrifies me, because the mall is also likely dark. It's probably no lights on, which is gonna make this whole thing even worse. But this is why I got the bow and arrow. Because the nice thing about the walkers is if one of them gets downed, the other ones, if they're not like right next to you, they're not gonna notice. They're not real perceptive. They got honestly not great senses at all. Their hearing is okay. I mean, I haven't shot my gun yet, so I don't know if that would draw more walkers or not, but I'm erring on the side of caution because there is one of me and a lot more of them. And I don't want an entire horde coming after me. While I was in the store earlier, I did some preparation. I also grabbed some rolls of duct tape, which I was surprised that nobody else had taken. And some fabric, scissors, needle and thread. Also surprised that nobody else had taken it, but I mean, I suppose food is kind of the priority. Food and some other necessities, I guess. But what I did is I'm wearing a jacket. It's mine. And I have another jacket in my backpack that I haven't worn in 93 days. That one's not technically mine. It belongs to the person that I love very, very much. But the jacket that's mine, I took the duct tape, and once upon a time I used to be very, very good at doing duct tape projects, and I just wrapped a bunch of layers of duct tape around the sleeves of my jacket, and so I'd have protection. I left the joints clear, of course. I still need to be able to move. But this way, if a walker tries taking a bite out of me, it's going to be a lot harder for it to, bite through all the duct tape. Because they still have human teeth. I got curious once and checked the mouth of a zombie skull with gloves, with things protecting my hands, because I wasn't going to touch that just straight on. Like I said, err on the side of caution. You always err on the side of caution. But I did that in case they tried to take a chomp out of me, and then I took the fabric that I would say stole, but there's not really anyone to steal from anymore. And I made a mask for myself. It has like a little bit of a longer piece that like goes down my neck, but I made it a mask, and I made it multiple layers, because I mean, I don't want, if a zombie were to ever, get blood on me, if they even had blood or saliva even, I don't want that stuff going into my mouth. That's a way for things to get into your bloodstream. I'm smart enough to know that. Because, like, obviously, food's got to get into your bloodstream somehow. And that goes down the same way. But I can't risk anything. So I made myself a mask. And I'm going to be wearing it. And I am going to... It's probably going to take me a couple of days to get over to the mall. Because when you're in these places, when you're in these cities, you gotta move really carefully. You have to be smart about where you're going. You have to avoid as many walkers as possible if you're not looking for a fight. Truly, the safest way to do this that I've found is to go across the tops of the buildings. Sometimes it's not always feasible because the buildings are a little too far apart, but you do it where you can. And it works for the most part. I've gotten better at, oh gosh. I guess the first time I did it was kind of a fuck it kind of a thing where there was a few feet of distance between the roof that I was standing on and the next one, and I just kind of said fuck it and jumped across, and that was terrifying. That was terrifying. I nearly didn't make it. I'm gonna be quite honest. I nearly fell to my death. I was hanging on to the edge of this building by my hands. But I guess I got more strength than I think I do, and I hauled myself up over the edge and laid there for a solid few minutes before I moved on and went to go do something else. I don't remember where I was headed, but I've gotten better at that over time. I've gotten better at it. And I'm gonna do the same as much as I can today. Try and get to as close to the mall as I can. So that I think my plan is to climb to the roof of the mall if I can. I've gotten good at climbing too. I've always kind of been fearless at climbing. Heights never really bothered me. But there's a big difference between climbing a tree and climbing a wall. In that one, you're more likely to fall. Oh gosh, I just rhymed. What kind of... okay, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for the rhyme. That wasn't intentional at all. But I think my plan is to get to the roof of the mall and then go in from the top, take it from the highest floor and just go down from there and kill as many walkers as are in there, which, I mean, I'm not really looking forward to finding out how many walkers are in this place. Locking doors behind myself, trying to get to the front door to lock it, and I hope the front doors are on glass. That's going to be a lot harder to work with. Oh, I think I'm getting tired. I need to find a place to rest tonight. And then I'll start trekking over there in the morning, I think. Yeah. I'll start trekking over in the morning. End of day 2.